Today on 10-Minute IT Jams, we're joined by Charlie DeWitt, who's the Managing Director for Australia, New Zealand and SEA at UKG. And we're also joined by Greg McManus, who's the Managing Director at Payroll Metrics. Charlie and Greg join us today to discuss the importance of payroll in today's operating environments and why automated processes can often be a key driver of success. So thanks, guys, for joining us today and welcome to the Jam.
Thanks for having us, Mitchell.
Thanks, Mitchell.
No worries. So just to start us off, for someone that hasn't worked with both of you guys before, what are the key products and offerings you guys have?
I guess I'll jump in there first. From a UKG perspective, we provide enterprise software for all things people related. So that might be human capital management software, things like onboarding and core HR and performance and comp. We also provide anything to do with time capture, time interpretation, and really help deliver that perfect paycheck. And we partner with Payroll Metrics to offer our UKG payroll solution. And that's the sort of the last mile, if you will, where you get that perfect paycheck. And maybe Greg, you could say more about payroll.
Yeah, so UKG Payroll produces software as a service delivered payroll solution as a software as a service for Australian and New Zealand employers. The software operates in all employment sectors, for example, retail, hospitality, health services, and mining. And it's targeted at employers with 100 or more employees.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great set of offerings you have there. Just launching into the concept of payroll, what role does payroll play in today's operating environment in general?
When you start off with that one, Greg, and I'll fill in.
Okay, right. Well, payroll plays a very key part in all companies' operations. It's absolutely mandatory that employers are able to deal with the bewildering array of industrial relations requirements and tax requirements and produce correct pay slips. And it really comes down to two elements. One is the creation of the timesheet that accurately reflects what the employee has worked. And secondly, it's the conversion of that timesheet into a cent per cent accurate pay slip at the end of the process. Now, there are a number of other processes involved, but essentially they're the key elements. And of course, we know that the ability to do that successfully and repeat it regularly is so important to both the employer and also particularly to employees.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing I would add is that's why the marriage between the time capture, award interpretation, and then the payroll solution, which gets that perfect pay slip to the employee, which is really most employers' most valuable asset, is so crucial. And with the Fair Work backdrop and regulatory environment in Australia, New Zealand, it's imperative to get that right.
Absolutely. And in terms of the key challenges that you guys are seeing across the payroll sector, what would you say those would be?
Well, I guess I could. Oh, go ahead, Charlie. Well, it's really, as I mentioned before, it's that really complex regulatory environment. So UKG operates globally. I personally have seen hundreds of different regulatory regimes, and I would have to say that the Australia-New Zealand region is one of the most complex on the planet. So getting that right can be very, very tricky. Making sure you're handling leave correctly, making sure that you're handling premium pay correctly, and all kinds of other gotchas in there. So it's really this environment that makes what we do so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Compliance and security are just so important. I mean, we've just seen what's happened at Optus, major data breach. And the information that payroll systems carry is extremely confidential. I mean, we know where people live, we know how old they are, we know what they earn, we know what their bank account details are. And so therefore, the ability to provide the greatest level of security that we possibly can is just so important.
Absolutely. And yes, we talked about security and other things like that. How can automation and payroll automation help remedy some of these problems?
Well, by applying payroll automation, you reduce the manual effort that's involved. Therefore, you reduce the potential for mistakes to be made when processes are run. This product was released in 2015, and It was built by a group of people who had provided managed payroll services to tens of thousands of employees over a period of years. And we basically sat down with a blank piece of paper and with the intention to make it as compliant as we possibly could, as secure as we possibly could, but also to introduce as much process automation as we possibly could. So if we could, on the basis of our experience, identify an opportunity to enable the system to make decisions on behalf of the user, we implemented that. And so we know that customers find that they're far more efficient in running this software than with some more traditional legacy-based products that were built maybe 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah, and as Greg said, we've seen time and time again, any manual-based system will be rife with errors. So automation provides consistency and repeatability, and also allows people more time to do whatever it is that they need to do. They don't have to spend time correcting exceptions or correcting mistakes or cutting off-cycle paychecks. They can focus on. The other thing I would say there is that once you have everything automated, the data is all there, and you can surface it in an analytics type of environment, so that managers can make better decisions in the moment about how people are affecting their business operations.
For sure, yes, it's immediacy is a big key theme at the moment. And in terms of if people wanted to inquire about some of your guys' solutions, what infrastructure and resources do you have across the APAC market at the moment?
I guess I'll jump in there first. So UKG has actually been in Australia for 25 years. We have over 700 customers, and we very much pride ourselves on being a business within a business. So there are 300 UKGers in the region. Many of them are devoted to service, implementation, support, and ongoing customer satisfaction. I would say probably 75% of our employees in the region are devoted to that. So we very much are an Australian-based business.
Yeah, and talking about payroll, taking infrastructure first. So the payroll operates on IT infrastructure that's wholly based in Australia. It's deployed on Microsoft Azure's Australian cloud data centers. And as far as resources are concerned, all of UKG Payroll's employees are located in Australia. You know, the complete roll call from developers, technical services staff, all of our customer service staff, including project system implementers, project managers, and support personnel. And we don't use external contractors for any purpose.
How does someone get in contact with you guys in regards to UKG solutions?
Well, there are a few ways, Mitchell. You can contact us through the web at ukg.com.au, or you could email us directly at contactus@ukg.com.
Well, again, thanks so much for sharing all that information with us, and we really look forward to hearing more from you guys in the future. Sounds like you got some great stuff in the pipeline.
Again, thank you for having us, Mitchell, and thank you for those questions. Great questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mitchell.